We've got the head coach, Coach McConnell, with us, and a great day to be a Mountaineer, and big win 2-0 in the conference, Coach. Kind of go over what you saw today and tell us about this victory.
It was definitely a big win today. Solid Brevard team. Those guys came ready to play too. We just came out in the first inning ready to hit the ball. We came out ready to play. The hitting was great the first inning. Kind of died off towards the end, but the defense was solid the whole game. Made a couple of base running mistakes, kind of bit us in the butt a little bit, but we bounced back from it. Pitching was phenomenal today. I have no complaints.
Talk about that pitching and led by Vince Hyde. He's your workhorse, and you give the ball to him, you got a lot of confidence. But no hitter going into the fifth inning, he was just cruising, and he lost it because he was tired. You would expect that early in the season. But talk about Vince. When you give him the ball, the confidence this team has.
You said it yourself. He's a workhorse. He's an absolute workhorse. He doesn't have great stuff. He's not overpowering. A little deceptive, but he just competes. I mean, that's his number one. He just competes every time he goes out.
That's big for you, Coach, because you talked about this after the Robinson game, and that fact that you just want your kids to compete for every out, every inning, every game, every moment of this. You want them to be competitive. And your team competed today.
We did. We definitely did. We're going to make errors. We're going to strike out. We're not going to pitch well some days. We're going to win games, lose games. But the one thing that I demand from these guys is coming out ready to play every day and just compete.
Well, back to demanding and the competing. What did you take out from the week after the Robertson game?
Yeah, it was definitely a humble maker, I guess you could say. We didn't come out ready to play that night. You cannot do that against a team like TC, especially what they have this year. And they laid it to us. But I think we needed that. We needed that. That's going to make us better.
Coach, when you talk about what you needed, that was the team feeling a little overconfident?
I don't think overconfident, I would say. I think they were just getting too complacent, with a couple of wins. I wouldn't say overconfident. That definitely opened their eyes. It just makes us work harder. It makes us work harder. They don't ever want that to happen again, so it makes us work harder.
Talk about this year, your defense again. This is something that you preach every day in practice. We all talk about hitting, and we have the stats for the hitters. But your defense is solid, especially up the middle. And if you will, talk about the little guy, Turner Olsen.
What a day he had defensively. Great. He's a great defensive player. He's a great defensive. He makes all the routine plays. He's not going to make the ESPN plays, but if it's routine, he's going to make it.
At the beginning of the year, you talked about his baseball intelligence, the headiness. A lot of people don't realize is that a lot of those ground outs, he was moving to where he was remembering the way you're pitching them, the way this guy swings. He was putting himself in a position where he thought that ground ball was going, and there it is. It's directly at him. Can you teach that?
No, you can't. He's a very intelligent kid on and off the field. No, you cannot teach that.
We have to come up with a name for Matthew Stratton, because whether it be Maverick or Goose or something like that, because he doesn't care if it's bases loaded, bottom of the seventh, 3-2, 2 out, he's thrown behind somebody.
Yeah, I tightened up a little bit on that last one.
So did I.
Definitely.
Down to first base?
Yep.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
That's the one I'm talking about. You're right. He'll throw it over any time. And he does a good job with it.
Well, you're 2-0, and now you're starting to get into the meat and potatoes of your schedule and everything. So after 3-2 overall, and after 5 games, are you pleased at where you're at with this ball club?
I am now. I think these last 2 games, especially this one, we came out ready to play. The TC game we weren't ready, but they're coming around. We're going to be fine.
Well, tell us a little bit of the upcoming schedule, and then we'll let you get out of here. Because I know we've got a JV game to get to right here in just a few minutes. So, what's next for the Mountaineers?
We're not going to look to next week too much. We're going to come out and have a hard practice tomorrow, and feed off this win right here, and just start over Monday.
Okay. And real quick before you go, have we made the Irwin game? Is there a date for the ring-out?
It's not been rescheduled yet. It's still in the mix. I'm still talking to Coach McConnell, maybe somewhere late April, but nothing's set yet.
Okay, good job, Coach.
Thank you.
2-0 in the conference.
Thank you, Jim.
Guys, we'll be back here on AM 1400 The Peak and AM1400thepeak.com right after this, and Chuck and I will wrap this thing up.
the shakes and all. You did me dirty, I almost died, dog. I let you play me, and plus you gave me all the filthy things I want.
Hey, a winning afternoon here at Tuscola Ballpark, Chuck. A big win. We've said it 2 or 3 times. It's a big win for the Mountaineers. Puts us 2-0 in the conference. And you've got a guest with us. We'll take just a second with before we wrap this thing up today.
What we have here is Chad Christopher, starting center fielder, senior for the Tuscola Mountaineers. And Chad, overall, I mean, you got to be pleased with the team effort. Brevard's a good baseball team, but looking at yourself, you're 2-0 in the conference.
Yes, sir. We've been coming out of practice every day, working extremely hard, and the hard work's been paying off, and defense has been there, and that's going to be our key to winning games.
Chad, if you will, talk a little bit about the team's confidence when Vince Hyatt gets on the mound.
Well, he is our #1, and whenever he's on the mound, we got out there knowing we're going to win, so we just believe in him.
You got 3 games next week. Do you ever look at the schedule and say, okay, we got 3 next week, and we got these teams coming up a week 4? Or are you guys really on that 1 game at a time?
1 game at a time, no doubt about it.
And where do you think this team's at right now after 5 games?
We're not at the top yet, but I think the way we're working, we're definitely going to be there.
And finally, Chad, you know, you started off slow, but you started off slow last year and you came on strong. So, you know, you got a hit today and you look a little bit more comfortable at the plate. Talk a little bit about your approach at the plate as the season goes on.
Well, I've been thinking backside and up the middle, and every great hitter, you work up the middle. So me and Caleb have been drilling in the cage every day, up the middle, up the middle, up the middle, and so I'm starting to get in the groove now. Keep focusing on up the middle instead of full.
Outstanding. This is the reason why they're 2-0 in the conference is quality kids like this. Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.
Good job,
Thank
bud. Well, folks, I'll tell you, it's good to be a Mountaineer today, and we're on the road. On next Tuesday, the 15th, we're going to be at North Henderson before we come back here to play the Asheville Trailblazers for our next radio broadcast, Chuck, on the 16th. I'm kind of pumped. I think we're heading in the right direction.
Well, and that, you know, those 3 games, they finish off next week with the rival Pisgah at Pisgah, and you know that's a fairly good team, but you know, I mean, every time you go out there, you got to put it on the line. But this team right here is starting to catch fire, Dave.
Absolutely. Folks, it has been a pleasure you allow us to be in your home. Thank you so much, Chuck. I appreciate it. Everybody, I know it was short notice today, and Andy back in the studio, yeoman's work today. So ACC basketball's next. How about the Tar Heel come back today? And we'll be with you again on the radio here on the 16th on AM 1400 The Peak and AM1400thepeak.com. So this is David Crompton along with my good friend and broadcast partner Chuck Fiebernitz saying, see you next time.